Smokin' Jays are back as we're going to dive into some Chicago Bears rumors here on today's show. My name is Harrison Graham. We got three storylines that I want to get into on today's episode. Before we get to that, though, we are literally 9 subscribers away from our milestone of 157,000. Come on. You could be the guy. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications. Let's get to 157,000. Let's zoom on past and then get on the road to 158,000 subs. Daily videos here on Chicago Bears Now. All right. Could Tyson Bagent be traded to the Atlanta Falcons? I'm going to go one Smokin' Jay. So the reason I'm talking about this, couple different things. One, Ian Cunningham's there now. They have some quarterback question marks. Our Falcons host here at Chat Sports has talked about this. And obviously, I do think he's a young, intriguing QB talent that is controllable, right? Signed that 2-year extension through 2027. And Atlanta is a team that could look to add to its QB room after it's expected to release Kirk Cousins. And with Michael Penix coming off an ACL surgery, ESPN saying that the Falcons could look to add a young and cheap quarterback to that competition if they were to make it a competition for Michael Penix Jr., or at least insurance again as he's recovering from injury. Ben Solak did a full article on ESPN.com kind of exploring the quarterback landscape and had this to say about the Falcons. Atlanta could defensively enter 2026 with Penix under close scrutiny as a third-year starter, but he's coming off a late-season ACL tear, so the Falcons will need someone who can start in September if he's not ready. More likely, the Falcons open up the starting job in a camp competition between Penix and another outside option. I could easily see that front office trading for one of the backups on rookie contracts who are collecting dust on another team's bench, Will Levis and Anthony Richardson, someone of that ilk. How about a Tyson Bagent? Now, technically, he is starting his second contract this offseason. 2026 and 27 is that 2-year, $10 million extension up to $16 million with incentives with the Chicago Bears. But it's the same thing. I mean, his cap hits are $4.75 million. If a team trades for him, I think it's $4 million. So that fits the mold in terms of young, cheap contract who's collecting dust on a team's roster. Obviously, the Bears value Tyson Bagent and should, but he is under contract and is controllable for the next 2 years. And I said at the time, I'll say it now, really smart extension for Ryan Poles. Good player, works hard, good teammate, nice backup to have. He's had some playing experience. You would feel comfortable as a Bears fan if he had to play, if Caleb Williams were to miss some time. Now, obviously, Caleb has established himself as the guy moving forward, so I don't think Bagent's going to be the starter here unless something crazy happens. But we see in the NFL more than ever how valuable backup quarterbacks are. But at the same time, if the Bears were to get calls on Bagent, Caleb's durable. He's proven that he's the guy. I mean, you should at least listen if you get those calls if you are Ryan Poles. Now, why Atlanta for Bagent? Well, they have quarterback uncertainty, both short and long term. Is Michael Penix going to be ready? It sounds like they're cutting Kirk Cousins. If Penix is ready from the injury, is he the guy? I mean, he's been inconsistent at best through his first 2 seasons when he has gotten a chance to play, and now he has a pretty long injury history going back to his college days. And you've got the Ian Cunningham connection. Ian Cunningham has been with Ryan Poles when they found Tyson Bagent as an undrafted free agent a few years ago, helped scout him, of course, brought him in, and was in the building when the Bears extended Tyson Bagent right before week 1 this past year. And don't forget this either. I found this little tidbit. Matt Ryan, good friend of Ryan Poles, we talked about all of that with the Ian Cunningham saga, visited Bears training camp in 2024, and there was actually a snippet in Hard Knocks where they're reviewing some film in Poles' office from the training camp practices, and there's a piece in there about Tyson Bagent, and Matt Ryan's kind of raving about it. He's like, man, this kid looks much improved, got some playing time last year, because remember, the year before, he started 4 games when Justin Fields missed a month with a hand injury, and he's like, yeah, this kid's really developing nicely. If Caleb gets hurt or whatever, you guys have a good option there as a backup. So Matt Ryan has had this guy on his radar for over a year as well. Again, Cunningham's in Atlanta now, so the Falcons are very familiar with who Tyson Bagent is, and there's probably some good thoughts about him as a player. And Kevin Stefanski, when I think of the type of offense he wants to run, which is kind of that Shanahan tree, it's like good decision maker, accurate, get the ball out. Like Tyson Bagent, that's kind of who he is stylistically as a player. Now, obviously, we haven't seen him play a ton, right? He started 4 games back in 2023. We flashed those stats, some mixed results as a rookie. I do think he's much better now than he was back then. But even then, even though the stats aren't like amazing, there were still signs, right? Like I think 4 of those 6 picks were against the Saints. So he definitely did some good things, did go 2-2 as a starter. And then this past preseason, I thought he looked excellent. I thought he played really well. I mean, remember that game-winning drive against the Chiefs when he went like 92 yards in 2 minutes or whatever, had that touchdown pass to Jade Walker to win that game. Again, preseason, take it with a grain of salt. I think the Bears value Bagent a lot, and so do I. I would keep Tyson Bagent. We've seen it every year in the NFL, how valuable good backup quarterbacks can be. Who would be the Bears' backup if you got rid of Tyson Bagent? Is Case Keenum coming back? Okay, maybe, but like I like him more as a third-string guy, just kind of a mentor more than anything else. Sure, you could find a backup, but then that creates another need. I think you'd have to get a pretty good trade offer to consider this. Like I wouldn't just be like, oh, 6th-round pick, here you go, Atlanta, or some other team. Now, if someone surprised you, certainly if they're like, hey, we'll give you a 2nd-round pick, yeah, like you'd have to be pretty interested in that if you're the Chicago Bears. But if it's like a 4th or a 5th or something less than that, I don't think I'd pull the trigger. You got 2 years of a cheap, good backup quarterback under control. If it was 1 year left, okay, maybe I'd consider it for a late-round pick, but 2 years left, I think I'd probably be keeping him. How much would you have to get to trade Tyson Bagent? Like, what would the trade offer have to be? This might sound crazy to you guys. If it's not a 3rd, I don't think I'd trade him. Maybe I'd consider a 4th, maybe. But I value Bagent a lot. I think backup quarterbacks are really, really valuable in today's NFL because most teams have athletic quarterbacks, which can lead you a little more susceptible to injury. Now, Caleb does a really good job of staying in there, right? Like he got beat up a ton as a rookie, still didn't miss time to injury. He's very durable, so I feel comfortable in that. But quarterbacks are very vulnerable. Like I value having a good backup, and a guy like Tyson Bagent, I'm not just giving him away. So I probably would not do this, but if you get a day 2 pick offer, okay, that would pique my interest. Okay, let's talk about a couple of other stories. Darnell Wright, is he set to get a contract extension? I'll go 3 smoking Jays. I think that's pretty likely. Can't go 4 because nothing's set in stone, but I do think there is a good chance this will happen. We'll get you caught up on the latest here in just a moment. But I got to tell you guys about our awesome sponsor first. That is Mando Whole Body Deodorant. Check it out today. Code chat gets you 20% off at checkout. Fellas, what is your go-to move when getting ready for a first date? Maybe it's a new haircut. Maybe it's washing your car before picking the lady up. You know what's a non-negotiable for first dates? Deodorant. And no one does it better than Mando. Mando isn't just for your armpits, however. Their products are safe from head to toe, whether it's the stick deodorant, spray deodorant, deodorant wipes, or body wash. Mando has you covered, as their products are clinically proven 72-hour odor control. Their products are clinically proven to control odor better than a shower with soap alone. 12 hours after a shower, the average men's grundle odor was a 5 out of 10. With Mando, it was a 0 out of 10. Some men mask their BO with scents. Mando men get the job done right. Don't mask it, Mando it. Available on retailers near you. Head to shopmando.com as another option, because for a limited time you get 20% off site-wide with our exclusive code CHAT at shopmando.com for 20% off and free shipping. That is shopmando.com. Please support our show. Tell them we sent you. Mando's got you covered with deodorant plus sweat control. Say goodbye to sweat stains and hello to long-lasting freshness. Okay, let's talk Darnell Wright. I mentioned this after the season, perfect offseason video. I think an extension here makes a lot of sense. I've been told by a source the Bears are already working on this, that they're trying to get something on the table with Darnell and his reps to try and get a deal done. And it's a no-brainer. He's gotten better each and every year. He was a 2nd-team All-Pro this year. obviously having anchors at your offensive tackle positions is huge, right? I mean, you look at the Super Bowl, they couldn't protect Drake May, no chance to win the game, right? The Bears finally have a good offensive line, and especially with the question marks at left tackle now with Ozzie Trapillo banged up for this upcoming season, like keeping Darnell Wright long term, it's not even something worth hesitating about. The only question is, what is a contract going to look like? Like, how much is he going to make? Could he reset the market? Could he top a Tristan Wirfs or Rashawn Slater as you look at some of the highest paid left tackles in the league? You look at a guy like Christian Darrisaw in the division, $26 million per year. That was 2 years ago when he got that. I think Darnell is probably going to clear that number. Look at right tackle, Penei Sewell within the division. Is he going to get that number? I think Sewell's been a little better, but Darnell's on that trajectory, especially where Sewell was in year 3. I'd say Darnell this year was pretty close to what Sewell was in his third NFL season. Very similar caliber players. This is a projection I've thrown out there: 4 for 112, $28 million per year, 82 guaranteed. It's going to cost a lot, man. Like he's going to get a lot of money. I'd say the floor is $25 million per year. I think that's the floor for him. If you got him 25 to 28, I would pull the trigger on that 3 or 4 year extension. If it's a 4-year, give him 3 years guaranteed and call it a day. And remember, you still got technically 2 years of his rookie contract left. You got this upcoming year and then the 5th-year option, which I would expect the Bears to exercise. So if you do this right, you can kind of make those cap hits manageable. You can backload them a little bit, spread them out over 6 years instead of 4 on a 4-year extension to keep those at a reasonable number. So if you do that, cap continues to go up. Those cap hits aren't as massive as time goes on. So we'll see if they can lock something in. Certainly before training camp would be nice. You got a lot of time here, but sounds like that's something they're already aggressively pursuing. How about Gervon Dexter? I was also told a little tidbit about this. Could he get extended? He is extension eligible. I'll go 2 smoking Jays. I think it's possible that he could get extended. Now, he's been more of an up and down player through 3 years, unlike Darnell Wright, who's clearly ascended every year. It's kind of been more like this with Dexter. Like, we've seen the flashes, but he's never put it all together in his 3-year career. I was told that if it's a team-friendly type of deal, if he's willing to take some sort of a hometown discount, if you will, that is something the Bears could be interested in. Now, what does that look like? I mean, is that like, I don't know, 2 years, $12 million, $6 million per year? I mean, I could be open to something like that. He does give you some pass rush production as an interior player. There's obviously value in that, especially in today's NFL. But I would not be like actively pursuing this if I was the Bears. Now, if his reps come to you and it's pretty reasonable, okay, like we can have a conversation, but this is not a player I'm like sprinting to my office for if I'm Ryan Poles to try and ink a deal, because you have him under contract for another year. And let's face it, from year 2 to year 3, we didn't really see that big jump, right? Certainly from year 1 to year 2, I thought he took a nice step. I was like, okay, he's on a nice trajectory. Maybe we get the year 3 takeoff. Now, technically he had a career high in sacks, but they kind of came randomly, sporadically. It's not like he had a lot of high impactful moments. And one thing we have simply never seen from Gervon Dexter is good production as a run defender. He just does not play the run well. His best year was last year when he was, average per PFF's grading system, but then he took a big step back. I did not think he was a great fit as a run defender in this defense with Dennis Allen. So I'm a little surprised to hear that the Bears are interested at least somewhat in an extension here. But again, I think they look at this and say, hey, he's underwhelmed a little bit, but he's 24 years old. He's still very talented and athletic. We still think there's upside there. If we can lock him in on a cheap deal, defensive linemen, especially good ones that can rush the passer, are hard to find. And he does give you some of that. The last 2 years, he's been right around a 10% pass rush win rate, which for a defensive tackle, that's a good number. So I'm not acting like he's a bad player. I just think as a second-round pick, he's kind of underwhelmed, especially this year. I thought we'd see a bigger jump, and it didn't happen. Now, maybe second year in DA's defense next year, 4th year overall, maybe he does find another step. But if this is more of who he is, kind of just a good rotation player, not a great starter that Gervon Dexter brings to the table. I do think defensive tackle is still a position that the Bears need to aggressively try to upgrade. I think drafting someone in the first round very much on the table. Grady Jarrett, I thought second half of the year picked it up after that knee issue kind of went away, but he's obviously on the back nine of his career. So we'll see what happens here. I wouldn't be stunned if something happened, but if I were in charge, again, unless it's very team friendly, $5-6 million per year on a 1 or 2 year extension, I think I would just play 2026 out. What's the rush? If he proves to you he can take another step, great. I'd rather pay more in a year than pay him now and he just kind of be an okay player. So again, Darnell, no brainer. Gervon, okay, we'll see. If it's cheap, sure. If not, I would play this year out. How would you guys grade Gervon Dexter's play through 3 years? How would you grade him as a player at this point? Is he like a C-plus player? I'd say he's an average to below average starter, good rotation player. He's a solid pass rusher, not very good against the run. So as a second-round pick, I'd say he's underwhelmed a little bit. If he was a fourth-round pick, he'd be living up to that. But that's just the reality of the situation. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of Chicago Bears Now. Appreciate everybody who made it to the end of the video. If you did, I want to remind you guys to subscribe to the channel if you have not already. We are almost at 157,000 subscribers. We'll see you guys tomorrow with more content. Bear down.